Welcome back. Now we have an automatic weapon, and so far we have unlimited bullets. But that's not very realistic, even for video games, so we need ammo. So in this lecture, we're going to cover adding ammo to the character. We're first going to add ammo to the HUD so we can see how much ammo we have. Then we'll add an ammo variable on the character blueprint and go about spending ammo or subtracting from that ammo variable when we fire the weapon. We also need to prevent firing when we're out of ammo. And finally, we need to update that ammo in the HUD. So let's get started. So the first thing I'd like to do is go to our character HUD, and I'd like to add some text to this HUD so we can see how much ammo we have. So here in the palette, we see that there is a text option. We're going to drag in a text right down here to the bottom right. Now I'd like to anchor this text to the bottom right. So let's go up to Anchors and choose the bottom right anchor. Now we have our text anchored to the bottom right, and with our text block selected, we have the option to change some properties. For one, I'd like this to say ammo with a colon there, like that. Now, I'm not a big fan of the bold font, so I'm going to expand the dropdown for font and change the typeface from bold to regular. And I think that looks a bit better. Now, we can change the size. I don't want this too big, so I'll put it about like that. Now, if we press play, we see ammo down there at the bottom right of the screen. Now, I'm going to add another text item here, and this will be for the number for how much ammo we have. So I'm going to set this also to about 37 for the size, and I'll give it a default value of 99, just to see what it looks like with 2 digits there. And I'm going to change its typeface to regular. Now we have text on the screen for showing ammo. Now I'm also going to anchor this number to the bottom right. So I'm going to choose bottom right for the anchor. And now we have ammo on the screen. Now, of course, we're not updating this. As we press play and fire some rounds, it stays at 99. So we need to fix that. Now we can rename these. I'm going to rename this text to ammo text. And I'm going to rename this text, the number, to ammo amount. So now we have ammo, but we're not updating it when we spend rounds, when we fire the weapon. So that's the next thing we need to do. So I'm going to give this as a challenge to you. Create an integer variable called ammo. Our health and damage variables were floats, but an ammo count doesn't really need to be a float. It can be an integer, which is a whole number. So create an integer variable and call it ammo. Give it a default value. Remember, you have to compile first to give variables default values. Now, I'd like you to subtract 1 from ammo when firing the weapon. So try to figure out a way to do that. And as a bonus challenge, see if you can update the HUD. Remember, we were able to update the percent for our health bar by accessing that health bar through the HUD variable. See if you can access our ammo amount through the HUD variable, and instead of set percent, which is the function we used for the health bar, try to use set text. That's okay if you don't get to that part. We'll go through this together. Pause the video and give this a try. All right, so it's time to add an ammo variable to our character. So here in the character, let's add a new variable and call this ammo. And I'm going to change it from a float to an integer. And once I compile, I can give this a default value. I'm going to give it a value of, say, 60. And now we have an ammo variable. Now we need to update this when we fire the weapon. So let's go back out to the event graph and into our fire weapon function. And we see that we're doing several things here. One of the things we need to do is subtract 1 from ammo. So I'm going to add a new pen, and I'm going to bring ammo in here and get ammo. Now, for the challenge, you might have gotten the ammo amount and gotten a setter for ammo, and you might have taken ammo, subtracted 1 from it like this, and then plugged it in. And that is totally fine if you did it that way. But there's another way to do the same thing. We can drag off of our ammo getter and type a double minus, and we see that there's this macro here called decrement int, and we can get that. This will do the same thing. It will subtract 1 from our ammo and it will actually change the value of ammo. It'll be one less. So I'm going to use that instead. So we have the same result, only we're using less nodes. Okay, so we're subtracting 1 from ammo. Now we need to update the HUD as soon as we subtract 1 from the ammo. So I'm going to get our HUD variable, and from the HUD, I'm going to get ammo amount. And I see that it's not here, so we need to go to character HUD, select ammo amount, and make sure it's set to is variable. So if you got tripped up on that part, that's probably why you couldn't get that variable. So check that checkbox, compile, and back in FPS character, we should be able to get ammo amount. Now we have get ammo amount. From here, we can try to set the text. I'm going to type set text, and here we have a function called set text. Now we need to plug in the amount, and if we take the output from this node and hook it up, we get a toText node, which will convert from an integer to the correct type, which is text. So let's compile and press play and see if this works. We have 99 ammo. Of course, it's actually 60, so we're not setting the ammo to the correct amount at the beginning of the game yet. But if we fire the weapon, we see that it's now at 58, and it updates as we fire. So we need to set that to the correct amount at the beginning of the game on begin play. So let's go back to the event graph, up to begin play, and we'll add another pin to our sequence here. Now I'm going to move these nodes up so we have more room and move them out a bit. And from this 4th pin, I'm going to set our HUD ammo amount. So first I'm going to get the HUD. I'm going to get ammo amount. And with ammo amount, I'm going to call set text. And the text will be set based on our ammo. So I'm going to get ammo, drag it in, and get a toText node. And I can hook up this 4th pin here. So let's hit compile and press play. And now we see ammo is the correct amount. And of course it updates when we shoot. Great. Now the last thing to do is to make sure we can't fire when our ammo reaches 0. We can prevent that in our fire weapon function. Now here in our fire weapon function, we can prevent doing any of this if we don't have enough ammo. So we can place a branch right here before we go into any of these actions. I'm going to hold B and make a branch and connect this here. And we'll only hit this sequence if the branch succeeds. So what is that condition going to be? Well, we need to have ammo. So we're going to get our ammo here, and we're going to check to see if it's greater than 0. And if it is, then we can go on and fire. And if it's not, well, we have nothing hooked up to false, so nothing will happen. So let's try this out. Now, I don't want to have to spend 60 rounds just to test this out, so I'm going to set ammo to a default value of 10 and compile and hit play. And I see that I have 10 rounds, and if I fired those 10 rounds, then I stop firing and I can't continue. Perfect. All right, great job. So I know that that last challenge had a couple of unknowns in there. So great job if you made it through, and if you came back to follow along, that's totally fine. But now we have ammo, and we can't fire if we run out of ammo, which is great, but we also need a way to get more ammo. So we'll work on that next. Great job. I'll see you soon.